The average American who keeps their savings in a bank account instead of investing it is not lazy. They are not uninformed. Losing money feels 2.5 times worse than gaining the same amount feels good. If you have ever said I will invest when the market calms down, this video is about you. Today we are putting a real dollar number on that fear. Not a motivational number. An actual cost, year by year, that nobody ever sends you a bill for. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what playing it safe has already taken from your account. Here is the one rule this entire video is built on. Loss aversion does not protect your money. It protects your feelings. And the cost of protecting your feelings with your finances is a number most people will never calculate, because calculating it would be too painful to look at. Keep that in your head. We are going to come back to it more than once. You have probably heard some version of this. Keeping your money safe is responsible. Waiting for the right moment to invest is smart. Avoiding risk is the same thing as avoiding loss. Here is the problem. Inflation is not waiting for the right moment. Every single year your safe money sits still, inflation is quietly reducing what that money can actually buy. It never sends a statement. It never shows up as a red number on your banking app. It just works, silently, in the background, every year. There is a name for the belief that not investing is a safe, neutral choice. We call it the safety illusion. It is the belief that doing nothing costs nothing. Mathematically, for a normal American saver, that belief is one of the most expensive decisions available. $1 sitting in a savings account earning 0.01% back in 2006 is worth approximately 61 cents in real buying power today. The account balance went up. The actual wealth went down. Now I know what you are thinking. The market crashes. People lose everything. Stay with me, we are going to deal with that honestly in a few minutes. Let me earn that conversation first. Meet Jordan and Marcus. Both are 29 years old. Both earn $64,000 a year. Both have exactly $15,000 saved. Jordan watched her parents lose money in 2008. She swore she would never put her savings at risk the way they did. Her $15,000 sits in a savings account. She tells herself she will invest once things feel more stable. Marcus is not fearless. He is afraid of losing money too. But he learned one number that changed how he thinks about risk. He keeps $2,000 as his true emergency reserve and invests the remaining $13,000 into a low-cost index fund. Same fear. Same starting point. One number is about to change everything. In 1979, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky published research that would later win a Nobel Prize. It was called prospect theory. The finding was simple and strange. Humans feel the pain of losing money roughly 2.5 times more intensely than they feel the pleasure of gaining the exact same amount. Losing $100 feels about as bad as gaining $250 feels good. Your brain is not weighing these outcomes equally. This is not stupidity. This is evolution. The ancestors who feared loss more than they chased reward tended to survive longer. The ones who took every risk available did not pass on as many genes. Loss aversion kept your ancestors alive for 200,000 years. In 2026, that same instinct is keeping your money in a savings account earning 0.1%. Here is how this shows up in real financial decisions. First, keeping money in savings until the market calms down. The market never feels calm enough, because loss aversion keeps raising the bar every time there is volatility. Second, holding on to losing investments far too long. Selling makes the loss official, and that triggers real pain, so the brain avoids selling even when logic says otherwise. Third, panic selling during an actual crash. The pain of watching the number fall overwhelms the rational knowledge that markets recover, which triggers the exact wrong move at the exact wrong time. Fourth, and most common, never starting at all. The fear of losing the first dollar is so strong that the account never gets opened and the first transfer never happens. The Dalbar studies on investor behavior show the average equity fund investor earned about 3.6% per year over the last 30 years. The market itself returned about 10.7% per year over that same period. That entire gap is behavioral. It is almost entirely driven by loss aversion causing panic selling and delayed entry. Let us watch what this actually costs Jordan, year by year. She starts at $15,000 in a savings account earning 0.01%, and she adds $300 every month without fail. By age 34, year 5, she has about $33,000. Almost all of that is her own contributions. Growth is nearly zero. By age 39, year 10, she has about $51,000. By age 44, year 15, about $69,000. By age 49, year 20, Jordan has about $87,000. After 20 years of 3% inflation, that is worth about $48,000 in real buying power. Jordan saved diligently for 20 straight years, and her real wealth barely moved. Now Marcus. Same starting point, same $15,000, one different decision. He keeps $2,000 as his emergency reserve and invests $13,000 into a low-cost index fund. He adds the same $300 a month, $50 toward his reserve and $250 into the index fund. By age 34, year 5, Marcus has about $57,000. By age 39, year 10, about $118,000. By age 44, year 15, about $224,000. By age 49, year 20, about $398,000. The gap between them at age 49 is $311,000. Same discipline. Same income. Same monthly contribution for 20 years. The only difference is that Marcus calculated what fear was actually costing him and decided the cost of safety was higher than the cost of risk. Jordan kept asking herself one question. What if I lose money in the market? She never asked the other question. What is the guaranteed cost of not investing? Let us run the numbers honestly, including the worst case. From 2000 to 2009, the single worst decade in modern market history, the market returned about -1% per year total. Jordan's savings account in that same decade earned about 0.01% per year. Even in the worst decade on record, the gap between investing and not investing was only about 1% per year. In an average decade, the market returns roughly 10%, while a savings account returns roughly 0.01%. That is nearly a 10 percentage point gap, every single year, compounding silently. The market can go down. It has gone down. It will go down again. But the real question was never whether the market is risky. The question is whether the alternative is actually safe, and the data says it is not. Loss aversion is not irrational. Markets really do crash. In 2008, the market fell 38.5% in a single year. In 2020, it fell 34% in just 33 days. Anyone who panicked sold at the bottom, in either case locked in a real, permanent loss. The risk is real. The crashes are real. Jordan is not wrong to be afraid. But here is what the data also shows. Every single one of those crashes recovered. The 2008 crash fully recovered by 2013. The 2020 crash recovered in 148 days, the fastest recovery in market history. The people who stayed and lost nothing except sleep. The people who sold lost everything except their fear. The honest conclusion is this. The risk of investing is temporary and historically recoverable. The risk of not investing is permanent and mathematically guaranteed. Fix number 1. Calculate the cost of your fear today. Open any compound interest calculator you can find. Enter your current savings balance and run it forward at 0.01%. Then run the exact same number forward at 7%. Look at the gap between those two numbers. That gap is not hypothetical future money. That is the actual price tag on your fear. Most people never calculate it, because seeing it is uncomfortable. See it anyway. Fix number 2. Reframe the question you are actually asking. Stop asking what if I lose money investing. Start asking what is the guaranteed cost of not investing. Inflation gives you one answer, about 3% a year in lost purchasing power, guaranteed. Opportunity cost gives you the other answer, about 7% a year in foregone real returns historically. You are not choosing between risk and safety. You are choosing between two kinds of loss. One is visible and temporary. The other is invisible and permanent. Fix number 3. Remove the decision entirely. Loss aversion is strongest at the exact moment you have to manually choose, the moment moving money into an investment feels dangerous. So take that moment away from yourself. Set up an automatic monthly transfer into a low-cost index fund on the same day your paycheck lands. Automation does not make you braver. It makes your fear irrelevant. The transfer happens before loss aversion ever gets the chance to run its calculation. Back to Jordan and Marcus, both now 49 years old. Jordan never lost money in the market. Her statement never once showed a red number. She protected every single dollar she ever saved. And in real purchasing power, in what her money can actually buy, she has less wealth today than the day she started saving 20 years ago. Marcus lost money in 2008. He lost money again in 2020. He watched his balance fall and felt exactly what Jordan was afraid of feeling. He did not sell. At 49 years old, Marcus has $311,000 more than Jordan. Not because he was braver. Because he calculated the cost of fear before fear could calculate it for him. This is the wealth metrics rule. Fear is not free. It has a price, and today you saw the number. If numbers like this are the reason you come here, this channel is where you belong. Subscribe and stay.